Hey, 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 it's your girl Talia, and I'm ready for you to invade my space. Welcome to Talia's Space, y'all. Welcome to the Look Good, Feel Good, Be Good podcast, where we gonna talk about everything. You hear me? We gonna laugh, we gonna cry, and most of all, we gonna love on each other, y'all. Let's talk. What's up, y'all? It's time for the Look Good, Feel Good, Be Good podcast. Welcome to Talia Space, y'all. Y'all know how we get down. I hope you guys have had a great weekend, okay? But it's Monday, and it's time for us to get into some deep conversations, okay? I hope that you guys, even I don't care what you've gone through or what you've been through, I hope this week or last week, I hope that you took that week and you looked good, you felt good, and you was being a good person, okay? Because that's what it's all about. If you don't look good, you're not going to feel good. And if you don't feel good, you're not going to be a good person. Okay. So I need you guys to make sure that when you go out that door, you look good, you feel good, and you are always being a good person. You never know who you're going to encounter on a daily basis. And it's really, really good to be a good person. Okay. It's really important to be a good person to everybody that you see because somebody needs you to be a good person. Okay. You don't know what your smile does. You don't know what your hug does. It does something to people. Okay. Being nice does something. It's important. Okay. So go ahead, go get your juice, go get your tea, go get your lemonade, go get your water, go get your wine. Cause we about to talk down tonight, y'all. Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk this episode. I wanted to talk to you guys about I got trust issues. That's what I'm telling this. I got trust issues. I don't trust nobody. Have you guys ever been around somebody that says, I don't trust nobody? Or have you been around somebody that says, don't trust nobody? Or have you been that person to say, I don't trust anybody? Or have you been that person to tell somebody don't trust nobody? Have you? I know that I have. I can be a witness to that phrase. I don't trust anybody. But I don't think people understand the reason behind why people say, I don't trust anybody. Um, Most of the time, I told somebody this on the phone, most of the time, you have to go back to the root, back to the beginning in order to get to the root of the problem. If you don't know what happened in the beginning, or if you don't know why this person is saying, I don't trust people, then it's hard for you to kind of come in and just recognize what they're talking about or understand what they're talking about because everybody haven't had a bad experience with people or with families or in relationships. So everybody can, agree with don't trust nobody. Okay. So I've been one of the people who would say, I don't trust nobody. I don't trust women. But why am I saying that? Why would I say I don't trust women? Why am I saying that? What would provoke me to say that? And what would provoke me to tell somebody else, don't trust these women out here to be your friends? Let me tell you something. I even brought my kids up telling them, don't trust nobody. You don't have no friends. Nobody's your friend. I brought my children up trusting nobody. Was that a good thing? Absolutely not, because not everybody's your enemy. Okay. So I brought them up telling them, you don't trust anybody. I don't care who it is. You don't trust nobody. And I brought them up, letting them know that you don't have friends because that's what I was told. You ain't got no friends. Your friends is your siblings, your family. Those are your friends. But how many know that sometimes even family can hurt you worse than a friend? Okay. Sometimes you can't even trust family. And that's really crazy and it's tough, but blood is not always thicker than water. Okay, we say that phrase all the time, but that's not true. And people say, well, why you don't trust anybody? Why you say don't trust nobody? It's because I was dropped by females, by females that I felt like was my family, by females that I felt like was friends, I was dropped. And I was dropped at an early age. So when I grew up, I didn't trust women because of the ones that dropped me. So everybody else, all the friends and that I had, they got the same type of energy that the other ones had that hurt me. And it wasn't fair to them. I didn't know how to be a good friend. I didn't know how to be, a good friend to the ones who was being good friends to me. I didn't know how to do that because I always felt like, how you be in a relationship and you're always thinking that the man is cheating. You're always thinking that he's talking to other people or whatever. I was that person, but in friendships. I didn't understand what was going on. I always felt like, well, they're probably talking about me behind my back. They're saying things, they're judging me. And so it made me not be a good friend. It made me also be standoffish. It made me not appreciate the good friends that I did have. It made me not appreciate them because I always felt like no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. I felt like that they were talking about me. I felt like eventually these people are going to hurt me. So before they do that, I'm going to go ahead and sabotage this relationship. I know we are guilty of sabotaging relationships because of things that we've went through on our own. So when people say I don't trust anybody, it's because something has happened to that person that made them not trust people. We was not born, we didn't come into this world not trusting people. That's impossible. You was not born on this earth not trusting people. Things happened, situations came about that made you feel like you couldn't trust anybody. Whether it was man, woman, boy, girl, it made you feel like I cannot trust this individual. I cannot let people close to me because of what somebody else did. If I let you in, you're going to do something that trigger me. If I let you in, you're not going to be the friend that I think that you should be. You're not going to be the friend that I feel a friend should be. You're going to hurt me. So we go into these relationships already carrying baggage. I'm not saying, I'm not talking about a relationship, a relationship between a husband and a wife or boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about situations with your family. The reason why you don't trust people. Some of us don't trust people because our family have done us so dirty that if my family can do it to me, then anybody can do it. If my family can hurt me, then there's no telling what you going to do to me. So we have this guard up when it comes to other people because of what somebody else did to us. And is it fair? Absolutely not. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, that's fair that you treated this person like that. It's not. I've been dropped many times. And because of that, it caused me to feed people with a long handle spoon. It caused me to always look over my shoulder to make sure that I'm protecting myself. It caused me to let my children know that you can't trust anybody in this world. It also it gave me, it gave me a reason to tell my children, don't trust nobody but me. Cuz mama not going to hurt you. Those people are. What was I right? Absolutely not. Because to be honest with you, we need people. We need people. But it's hard when you've been broken by people and you've been wounded. And so now you have trust issues. But nobody want to say I got trust issues. Nobody want to say that. But we do. We have trust issues because somebody dropped the ball when it came to us. Somebody made us feel unimportant. Somebody made us feel like we was not enough. And the ball was dropped. And it was hard for us to pick up the pieces of our life. What happened to that little girl to make her feel like when she grew up, she couldn't trust people? What happened? Why now? How long are you going to go without trusting people or without opening your heart? How long are you going to go with this guard up? Because everybody is not out to get you. Some of us have a complex where everybody else is out to get us. And that's because of what we have experienced. Nobody is saying these things that haven't experienced something. Something has happened. So when you hear somebody say, I don't trust people, then ask them why. What happened? When was the first time you felt like your trust was broken? When was the first time somebody dropped you? When was that? Let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. And then maybe we can open that door. And maybe we can expand your mind to say, you know what? I had a situation where I didn't trust people, but it was because of what happened to me. Now I'm open. Now I'm open. Now I can see the good in people instead of trying to see whether or not they're going to hurt me like the last person did. And yeah, I'm talking about friendships, but this applies to every relationship there is. If somebody is telling you, I do not trust people, then you need to take a deeper look into why. Yes, hurt people hurt people. Yes, that's a phrase that we use. But what happened? Where did the hurt come from? Where did it initiate from? Where did your trust issues start from? Did it start from when you was a little girl? Did it come from your parents? Did your parents do something to make you not trust people? Did your siblings do something to make you not trust people? Did your best friend, your first best friend, do something to make you not trust people? Did your first boyfriend do something to make you not? What happened? Who did it? And are you going to make everybody live by that same standard? I'm going to treat you this way because this is what happened to me in the past. I'm not going to give you full access to me because you may drop the ball just like they did. There are some people that is willing to come into your life and add something to you. But you have to be able to let go of your trust issues. In the Bible, it says to trust no one. Put your trust in God. Why does the Bible say don't trust anyone? Put your trust in God. It's because men are flawed. We are flawed. People are flawed. Which means that any time in this relationship, our trust, my trust, your trust can be broken by anything that I've done. So you put your trust in God and not in man because man is flawed. Man is always going to do something because we're not perfect. And I think that's where we get, confused because we think people are perfect. We're not perfect. I felt like my siblings was perfect. They could do no wrong. But there were some times that I didn't agree with some things, and that's because some of my siblings are older than me. So when I was little, it was okay for them to kind of parent me, and I was okay with that because I felt like they were my parents. But when I grew up, that changed. I understood that these are your siblings. These are not your parents. These are your siblings. So I started to kind of, rebut against them. And we had some situations where I felt like I was dropped because I didn't understand the relationship. I'm not saying that they did things. I'm saying I didn't understand the relationship. I didn't understand where I go from here when it comes to my sibling because they were way older than me and they're not my parents, they're my sisters and brothers. And now I don't know what role I play. I don't know if I'm the sister or the child. And so because I knew that I was a sister, I started to rebut against things that they would say and they would tell me. And it sometimes it caused issues in our relationship. And then it made me look at other people, as I'm not talking to y'all. I don't even I don't even talk to my siblings like that. My siblings can't tell me what to do. You're not gonna tell me what to do. Was I wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm telling you the way that I think. Because sometimes we don't want to say sorry or we don't want to say that we dropped the ball because we feel like we didn't, but you don't know how the other person feel on the receiving end. You don't know how your actions and your words, you don't know how it affects somebody else. So that's why God said, don't put your trust in man, put it in me. I'm not flawed. God is not a flawed God. So he won't let you down. Man will always let you down because they're not perfect. No person on this earth is perfect. So that's why you always have to have the open mind when it comes to relationships with individuals. Why? Because you have to always think that any point, yes, the ball can be dropped. Yes, my trust can be broken because this person is flawed. This person is not perfect. So I understand that we're going to make mistakes, and I understand that sometimes the ball is going to be dropped, but it's up to me to decide what happens after that ball is dropped. Am I going to stay here? Am I going to stay in this relationship? Am I going to forgive this person and move on? And if I do forgive them, do we still have a relationship? Let me tell you something. Just because you have forgiven somebody does not mean that you have to go back into a relationship with people. I have forgiven a lot of people, but I have not reconnected. You would not be the cause of me suffering or of me being sick or me having depression and anxiety. You will not have power over me like that. So I'm going to forgive you, but I'm forgiving you because of me. I'm forgiving you because God said so. But that does not mean that I have to have a relationship with you. I will speak to you. I will pray for you. I wish you well, but we do not have to sup together. We do not have to dine together. We do not have to be on the phone together because according to whatever happened in this relationship that caused me to drop the ball or you to drop the ball or whatever caused that, when we discuss it after we have a conversation about it, we're going to discuss our relationship going forward, whether we will have one or not. And I think that's what we need to do as human beings. I don't think we communicate enough. Whether that's in our friendships or relationships, we don't communicate enough. We don't go to that person and talk to that person and say, hey, you hurt me when you did that. You hurt me when you said that. You broke my trust when you did that. So now, because my trust is broken, it's hard for me to move forward with this relationship. Or I need some time to figure out what I'm going to do going forward when it comes to our relationship. Because right now, I don't trust you. And let's not put it all on the other person. Right now, I don't trust me. And until I get myself together, I don't think it's a good thing for us to continue our relationship. See, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to say, hey, it's me. I'm the issue. I broke your trust. And because I did that, let me go ahead and step away for a moment and get myself together to see why I caused that type of pain when it came to you. Something made me do that. Whether it was past issues or whatever, I did not handle you the way I should have handled you. And because of that, I dropped you. I apologize because you depended on me for some area in your life. And because I didn't fulfill my purpose in your life, I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm going to step back and work on me. Can can we do that? Can we say it was me? I am the one who messed up. I am the one who caused you pain. And because I caused you pain, I'm going to step back. I'm going to let you heal and I'm going to step back and I'm going to take time out to see what is it? What made me? Why did I do that? God, show me because obviously I have some issues that I'm putting off on somebody else, and I don't want to be somebody else's hindrance. I don't want to be somebody else's burden. I don't want to be the reason why somebody is crying. I don't want to be the reason why somebody is going through depression. I don't want to be that. So I'm going to step away and I'm going to let you deal with the things that I've done. And then I'm going to deal with the things that I've done. And I'm going to sit back and let you heal. And then if we come back together again, we can discuss the type of relationship we will have going forward. But right now, I need to work on me. Can we do that? Can we take ownership? Can we take responsibility and say, I have caused hurt in somebody else's life? I am the reason why somebody don't trust somebody else. Can we take ownership in that? I think that would be great if we could. I am the reason why you're hurting and I apologize. I am the reason why somebody have trust issues because we're not perfect. Yes, we have our own things that we go through and some people have hurt us, but we have hurt other people. We have been the cause of somebody saying, I don't trust nobody. We want to play victim, but somebody else is saying that she hurt me. Talia hurt me. Something that she said, something that she did hurt me. And she's the reason why I can't trust people. Somebody is saying that. While I'm saying I don't trust anybody, somebody is saying I don't trust anybody because of her. It's time for us to start working on ourselves. The Bible said, put your trust in God, not in man. Some of us put our whole life in the palm of somebody else's hand. We give them too much power when it comes to our feelings, our emotions, our physical being. We give people too much access to us. And you don't even know if they're trustworthy or not. That's where the ball gets dropped. We are so easy to let people in and we don't even know the criteria that they have. We don't even know who they are and we're letting them in. We're trusting people too quickly. And then when we get hurt, then we try to go back to the beginning to see why in the world did I let this person in my life? Some people was never meant to be that close to you. But sometimes we're trying to fill a void. And so we let people in and we bring them in. And when they don't fill that void and they hurt us instead, then we're left in the dark trying to figure out where did we go wrong. We went wrong when we opened ourselves up when we wasn't ready. Sometimes you're not ready to let people in. Sometimes you need to take a journey by yourself, a journey alone. Sometimes it's not good for you to get in a new relationship because you don't even know yourself yet. And so sometimes even though you want to get into a relationship, you end up hurting that person because you wasn't ready to be in a relationship. So now you call somebody else to have trust issues because you was never ready to jump into another relationship. And yes, I'm talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, fiance, whatever. This is what I'm talking about. We jump into relationships because we're trying to fill a void and we're not ready yet. We don't get to know this person. We don't know their ins and outs. We don't know anything about them, but we open ourselves up so quickly because what we feel like we need at the time. Let me tell you something. You don't need anyone at this moment besides you and God. If you have issues, especially trust issues, you can't be friends with nobody with trust issues. You can't even be friends with yourself with trust issues. Some people just don't trust themselves. I don't trust me to make the right decisions, to make the right choices. I don't trust myself to go in the right direction, to go to the right place, to say the right thing. I don't trust me. And when you don't trust you, that's a dangerous thing. So if that's you, then you need to take time out for yourself to go ahead and get you together. Because if you don't trust you, your partner will not be able to trust you. Your children will not be able to trust you. Your friends will not be able to trust you because you are a danger to yourself. We want to talk about other people, but let's talk about ourselves first. You're not perfect. You're flawed. You have some issues. Every last one of us have something inside of us that can tear another person down, that can cause another person to stumble. And that's not who we are. That's not what we want to be. We want to look good, feel good, and be good. Getting your trust issues together is the start of looking good. It's the start of feeling good. When you trust yourself, you start feeling good about yourself. You start looking at yourself and you start saying, I can be a good person. I don't have to lie about who I am. I can let people in and know that they can trust me with their information. They can trust me to be a good friend. They can trust me to be a good wife. They can trust me to be a good daughter. They can trust me to be a good employee. Trust goes a long way. Because once trust is broken, it's very hard for you to get that back. You ever heard somebody say that? Well, you know what? You broke my trust, and trust is a hard thing to get back. It is. It is. Trust is earned. And it's earned every single day. I trust that you're going to be here. Your employer trusts that you're going to be there every single day. Because why? Because you get paid. Because of the benefits of you being there. So they trust that you're going to be there every day. You're going to clock in every single day. Now you start coming in and you start calling in and you start missing work. The trust is now beginning to break. You're now beginning to break the trust of your employer. They can't depend on you. Now, your coworkers can't depend on you. Somebody else have to do the job that you were supposed to be doing. Or it's extra work on another person because you're not dependable. Yeah, we're talking about trust all the way around. Your employer don't trust you because you're inconsistent. And if you're inconsistent at work, you're inconsistent at home. Your employer don't trust you because you're inconsistent. Your children don't trust you because you're inconsistent. Your spouse don't trust you because you're inconsistent. You're an inconsistent person. You're inconsistent. That's why we don't trust you. Trust goes all the way around the border. If you can trust me at work, you can trust me at home. You can trust me at church. But some of us are able to be trusted at work and not at church. We give man all of our time, but not God. God can't even trust you. He can't trust you to pray. He can't trust you to read. He can't trust you to do the right thing. He can't trust you to go to church. Oh, I don't want to go to church. He said, do not forsake the assembly of others. Fellowship with one another. I don't want to go to church. Find you a church to go to. God doesn't trust you. You're not a trustable person. He cannot trust you to do what he's planted you here on this earth to do. And some of us want to blame God. Well, he's the reason why this is not going through and this is not happening and this. Some of us have the nerve to blame God, the reason why we don't go to church and all this stuff. Let me tell you something. Church hurt has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with people. And when you get hurt out there on that job, you still go to work, but you don't want to go to church. I don't understand it. Make it make sense to me, because you're going to go back to that job because you get paid. but it's something about us as church people that we feel like it's okay for us to go to work, but I can choose to go to church. I can choose when I want to worship God. But every morning when the alarm clock goes off, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to go to work. Although it's not the alarm clock that's waking us up. The Lord God does not trust his people. We're not trustworthy. We're inconsistent. Why can't he trust you? What happened? Maybe that's what we need to ask. What happened? The reason why God doesn't trust you any longer. What happened? When was the first time that you looked back and said, I'm not going to pray today? I don't feel like it. What happened? What happened when you said, I'm not going to pick up my Bible today? I don't feel like reading. What happened when you said, I'm not going to forgive that person? What happened to make you do that? Look deep down inside and figure out what happened. And once you start at the beginning, then you can go ahead and chop it down or pull it out at the root. But you got to start at the beginning of why you have trust issues. We need to know. We need to know why you don't trust anybody. We need to know why you're telling people don't trust anybody. We need to know why you feel like you can put all of your trust into somebody's hand. What I need you to understand is it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if it's the most upstanding person there is. Eventually, the ball will drop because people are flawed. Even if they didn't mean it on purpose, sometimes we take things that people do and they don't even know that they've done it. And because we're not open enough to discuss it, we're sitting around carrying this hurt and this anger, and the person don't even know that we have an issue with them. When the Bible said, go to your brother. If you have an issue, go to your brother. Talk about it. That's the first thing that we need to do when it comes to building trust. Go to your brother and your sister and communicate. This is why I feel this way. I feel like you dropped me. I feel like the ball was dropped. I feel like my trust was broken. I trusted you. And once we get that, once we are able to communicate, once we're able to see if we're the problem, if we're the one who's causing the trust issues, I think that we will have a much better fulfilled life. People will begin to trust us. But before you trust anyone, trust God. Because he is the one that will never let you down. You don't ever have to worry about him taking your business and doing it and spreading it around. You don't ever have to worry about him posting subliminal posts about you on social media. You don't ever have to worry about him dropping the ball with you. That's why he says, put your trust in me. Stop carrying and putting all your trust in man. Put it in me. Man is flawed. People are flawed. Yes, they're going to hurt you because they're not perfect. But that's why I told you to forgive them. That's why I told you to love them. Because they're flawed. They're imperfect. But God is perfect and he's not flawed. And you don't ever have to worry about trust issues when it comes to him. If you have trust issues, I'm begging you to start at the beginning to see what happened to make you not trust people, because you wasn't born that way. Something happened. Something triggered you to not trust people. And once you figure that out, you can break everything else down and start to work on you being a better person. Because what we're trying to do, we're trying to look good. We're trying to feel good. And we're trying to be good people. That's all. We need good people on this earth. And when you don't look good, when you don't feel good, you don't be good. You're not a good person. When you have trust issues, it's hard for you to be a good person. It's hard for you to be that friend that you want somebody to be to you. Find out what it is. Evaluate yourself. Go back and look back at the beginning. Go back and look into your childhood to see, yeah, sometimes it's painful to go back, but sometimes going back is much needed. Go back and see who dropped the ball when it came to you. I'm telling you, for y'all who haven't listened to my last podcast, I'm telling you, if you can't do this on your own, find a therapist, find somebody that is able to help you get through this. Find somebody who's able to get to the root of your trust issues, who's able to go back to the beginning with you and able to spread this stuff out and piece it out and figure out how did it get this way? How did it get this bad? And then they start putting this puzzle back together again to make you whole. Puzzle pieces are everywhere. Have you ever emptied out a box full of puzzle pieces, especially the little bitty ones? Puzzle pieces are everywhere. They're scrambled. And that's how you look right now with your trust issues. You look scrambled. And sometimes we need a little help to find the end pieces. You know, they always say start with the end pieces when it comes to the puzzle because it's easier to finish the puzzle that way. Start with the end pieces and then work your way to the surface, to the middle of that thing, to the meat of that thing. And once you get done, that picture is going to be so pretty. It's going to be so lovely. It's going to be so beautiful. And it's all because you started at the beginning to get to the root of your issue. I love y'all. And, you know, I ain't got nothing but good conversation for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed and took heed in what I'm saying, because I'm telling you, once you start looking good, feeling good, you become a good person. You will be a good person. Okay? Love y'all. Good night.